had never imagined that the quiet companionship of my loyal dog could become the unexpected lifeline that pulled me from the depths of loneliness, turning empty days into moments filled with profound warmth and unbreakable connection. It all started a few weeks ago when my husband left for another long business trip, leaving the house wrapped in that heavy, familiar silence. Our cozy suburban home, with its big backyard and spacious rooms, suddenly felt overwhelmingly empty, like the walls themselves were echoing my isolation. I'd grown used to his absences over the years. His job provided our comfortable life. But each time he left, the quiet settled in deeper, stirring a restlessness I couldn't quite shake. Max, our golden retriever, had been my constant for 7 years now. Ever since we brought him home as that clumsy, fluffy puppy full of boundless energy. He was more than just a pet, he was my anchor, filling the voids with his wagging tail, gentle nudges, and those soulful eyes that seemed to understand my heart without a single word. That first evening alone, I tried everything to chase away the solitude. Soft music, a favorite TV show, even scrolling through lively photos on my phone. But nothing worked. Dinner was quick and quiet, just reheated leftovers. And soon I found myself on the couch with a glass of wine, Max sprawled warmly at my feet, his fur brushing against me like a soft reminder that I wasn't entirely alone. "You're my everything right now, aren't you?" I whispered, my hands sinking into his thick, golden coat, feeling the steady rhythm of his breathing. He let out a low, contented huff, his tail thumping softly against the floor as if he truly got it. Our bond was special, deeper than I could explain. His unwavering loyalty wrapped around me like a comforting blanket, easing the ache in ways no one else could. As the wine relaxed me, I started talking to him, pouring out thoughts I kept bottled up. "Sometimes I wonder if life notices how alone I feel when he's gone," I murmured, my voice soft with emotion. Max tilted his head, his gaze locking onto mine with such empathy that it brought tears to my eyes, making the emptiness feel a little smaller. The night wore on, and as I absent-mindedly scrolled through pictures of friends' busy lives, Max shifted closer, resting his head on my lap. His warmth seeped through, grounding me, turning the heavy silence into something almost peaceful. "You're such a good boy," I said gently, stroking his back, savoring the simple joy of his presence. He sighed happily, snuggling in. And in that moment, I felt truly seen as pure. Uncomplicated love chasing away the shadows of doubt. Hours passed as I reflected on our life, stable and secure, but lately feeling a bit routine, like passion had quietly faded into habit. Max sensed my mood, nudging my hand with his cool nose, pulling me back with his playful energy. "Thanks for always knowing," I smiled, scratching his ears, overwhelmed with gratitude for this furry friend who had become my emotional rock. By bedtime, he curled up at the foot of my bed as always, and I whispered, "Good night, Max. Thank you for being here." His eyes gleamed in the moonlight, filled with that quiet devotion that warmed my heart from the inside out. The next morning, his enthusiastic tail thumps and cheerful bark greeted me, coaxing a laugh as I got up. Okay, I'm coming," I chuckled, ruffling his fur while he nuzzled close. Our daily routine kicked in breakfast, then a walk where his excitement was contagious. In the park, I let him off the leash, watching him bound freely, his joy lifting my spirits like sunshine after rain. We sat on a bench and I confided more. "You make everything better, Max, even when things feel stuck." He rested his head on my knee, tail wagging steadily, his presence a balm for my buried feelings. The days continued like that, chores with him shadowing me faithfully. Evenings curled up together on the couch, his warmth turning loneliness into contentment. Max didn't just fill the house. He filled my heart, reminding me of the incredible healing power of a dog's unconditional love. In his company, I rediscovered joy in the simple things. Long walks, playful chases in the backyard, quiet moments where his steady breathing synced with mine. Looking back, that time alone taught me something profound. How a faithful companion can transform isolation into a deeper appreciation for life's quiet gifts. Max wasn't just my dog. He was my savior from the silence, proving that true connection doesn't always need words. Have you ever felt that kind of bond with a pet? Share your stories in the comments, I'd love to hear them. As the days turned into a gentle rhythm without my husband, Max continued to be the light that guided me through the quiet moments, proving time and again how a simple pet's love can heal the soul in ways nothing else can. One afternoon, feeling the familiar weight of the empty house, I decided we needed an adventure. "Come on, Max, let's escape for a bit," I said, grabbing his leash with a spontaneous smile. His whole body wiggled with excitement, tail wagging furiously as we headed to the car. We drove to a nearby nature trail I'd always meant to explore. The kind with winding paths through tall trees and open meadows. The fresh air hit us as soon as we stepped out, filled with the scent of pine and earth after a recent rain. I let Max off the leash in the safe area, watching him trot ahead, nose to the ground, discovering every new smell like it was the greatest treasure. He'd pause every few steps to look back at me, those golden eyes sparkling, making sure I was keeping up. It made my heart swell at his protectiveness, his joy in sharing the moment with me. We walked for hours, the sun filtering through leaves and golden patches, birds singing overhead. I talked to him the whole time about everything and nothing, dreams I'd put on hold. Little worries that felt smaller out here. Even silly jokes that made me laugh when he tilted his head in that adorable way, sitting on a mossy log by a small stream. Max flopped down beside me, panting happily, his head resting on my knee. I stroked his ears, feeling the soft fur and the warmth of his body. "You have no idea how much you save me every day," I whispered, a lump forming in my throat. In his company, loneliness didn't stand a chance. It melted into gratitude for this pure, unwavering friendship. He looked up at me with such trust, licking my hand gently, and in that instant, I felt completely understood, completely loved without conditions or expectations. Back home that evening, the house felt different, brighter, as if our outing had brought the outdoors in with us. Max shook off the trail dust in the backyard, rolling in the grass with pure delight, and I couldn't help but join him, laughing as we played fetch until the sun set. Dinner was more enjoyable with him begging playfully at my feet, his hopeful eyes earning him a few healthy treats. Later, curled up on the couch watching a light-hearted movie, Max snuggled close, his head on my lap as I absent-mindedly petted him. The simple rhythm of his breathing synced with mine, turning what could have been another solitary night into one of peaceful contentment. Reflecting as the stars came out, I realized how Max had taught me to find joy in the present, to appreciate long walks, playful moments, and quiet cuddles. His energy pulled me out of my head, reminding me that life's best comforts often come with 4 paws and a wagging tail. Even chores became fun with him around, folding laundry while he helped by lying on the warm clothes, or cooking with him patiently waiting for a dropped scrap. He was my shadow, my confidant, turning routine into something special. One particularly rainy day, when going out wasn't an option, we had an indoor adventure instead. I spread out old blankets for a makeshift picnic on the living room floor, sharing safe snacks while telling him stories from my childhood. He listened intently, ears perked, occasionally nudging me for more pets. It sounds silly, but those moments filled my heart with a warmth that chased away any lingering sadness. Max didn't judge, as my husband's trip dragged on, fully and freely, showing me what true companionship looks like, more grounded. Max's routine morning zoomies around the yard, afternoon naps and sunbeams, evening walks under streetlights became my anchor. He sensed my moods perfectly, energetic when I needed motivation, calm when I craved peace. In his eyes, I saw reflected a better version of myself, patient, joyful, present. That period alone with Max reshaped how I viewed connection. It wasn't about grand gestures. It was the daily faithfulness, the silent understanding, the way he celebrated my return from even a short errand like I'd been gone forever. He healed the quiet spaces in my life, one wag, one nuzzle at a time. Pets like him remind us that love can be simple yet profound, a lifeline when the world feels too big. Have you experienced that kind of magical bond with your pet? The one that turns ordinary days into treasures? Drop your heartwarming stories in the comments. I can't wait to read them. As the weeks stretched on, my husband's trip kept getting extended, but strangely, the loneliness didn't hit as hard as it used to. Max had become my daily source of joy, turning ordinary moments into little celebrations of life. Every morning started with his excited tail wags and playful zoomies around the yard, chasing imaginary squirrels and making me laugh before I'd even had coffee. "You're the best alarm clock ever," I'd say, kneeling down to give him a big morning hug. His fur was always warm from sleep, and his happy whines felt like the perfect way to greet the day. We developed new little rituals that made the house feel alive again. After breakfast, we'd head to the backyard for training games. I'd hide treats around the flower beds, and he'd search with such focus and enthusiasm that it became our favorite game. Watching him succeed and trot back proudly with his prize made me smile every time. "You're so smart, Max." I'd cheer, rewarding him with extra pets and praise. Those moments reminded me how rewarding it is to build trust and connection through simple, positive experiences. Afternoons often meant a visit to the local dog park, where Max made friends with other dogs while I chatted with their owners. It was surprising how many people shared stories of how their pets helped them through tough times. One lady told me her golden retriever had been her lifeline during a difficult divorce. Her words echoed exactly how I felt about Max. Sitting on a bench, watching him play, I felt grateful for this community of pet lovers who understood that a dog's love can heal in ways we never expect. Evenings were my favorite. After dinner, we'd settle on the couch for a movie night. Max would curl up beside me, his head on my lap or his body pressed warmly against my side. I'd stroke his ears absent-mindedly while watching something light-hearted, and the house felt full of love instead of silence. Sometimes I'd talk to him about my day, about dreams for the future, or just share silly thoughts, and he listened with those attentive, soulful eyes as if he truly understood. "You're the best listener I know," I'd whisper, feeling a deep sense of peace. One rainy weekend, we turned the living room into our own cozy indoor playground. I dragged out old blankets, scattered some toys, and even set up a mini obstacle course with pillows and boxes. Max loved it. He leaped over cushions, chased his favorite squeaky toy, and flopped down dramatically when he was tired, only to jump up again seconds later. We laughed together. Well, I laughed, and he wagged his tail like crazy. And by the end of the day, I felt lighter than I had in months. It was proof that joy doesn't always require big adventures, just someone who loves you unconditionally. As the days passed, I started noticing small changes in myself. I smiled more easily, slept better, and even felt excited about simple things again. Max's steady presence had gently pulled me out of the fog of loneliness. He didn't replace my husband, but he reminded me that love comes in many forms, and that having a faithful companion can make all the difference. His loyalty, his playfulness, his quiet comfort, they were gifts I never knew I needed so badly. Finally, my husband called to say he'd be home in a few days. I felt a mix of emotions, excitement to see him, but also a quiet thankfulness for the time I'd spent with Max. When my husband walked through the door, Max greeted him with joyful barks and wags, then immediately came back to me as if to say, "We did okay while you were gone." That night, the three of us sat together on the couch, my husband on one side, Max sprawled across both our laps, and I realized how lucky I was to have this beautiful family. Furry and human alike. Max taught me that true connection isn't always about words or grand gestures, it's about showing up, day after day, with love that never wavers. If you have a pet who has changed your life in big or small ways, please share your story in the comments. I love reading about these special bonds because they remind us all how much love is out there waiting to be found.